Veganism is a psychological disorder, as far as I'm concerned. Now, this may come as a shock to some of you people, but there's absolutely nothing from a physiological or anthropological analysis that would indicate that veganism is a reasonable approach to the human diet.
Why did Mark have to go and shit the bed? You know, I really didn't want to have to open this can of whoop ass, but he's just asking for it. Mark, you led me to it, bro. So let's begin. Mark Rippetoe is a strength training coach and is most notably known for two of his books that he wrote a few years ago called Starting Strength, Basic Barbell Training, and Practical Programming for Strength Training. And I'll proudly admit to have bought my own 2 copies of these 2 books a few years ago myself. They're great pieces of literature in regards to training and getting stronger that I believe everyone should read before considering a strength training regimen. However, that's just my opinion, so do as you want. Unfortunately, those last few statements are going to be as nice as I'm going to be in referencing Mark Rippetoe, at least in this video. You see, Mr. Rippetoe, the poor bastard, wandered into a subject he knows jack shit about: nutrition and morals outside of his own species. Why would Mark do this? And which, by the way, this isn't the first time he's done this. But I have a theory. It's probably because he's an outspoken person who seems to let his personal beliefs dictate the shit that spews out of his mouth occasionally, or even what he put into his book. More on that in a bit. What needs to be understood is that Mark Rippetoe is primarily from a background that is of gym culture. Now, he understands the fallacies of the common gym bros and the problems associated with exercising and not training. And let me just say this is huge because many people never actually really learn the difference between exercising and training. Mark Rippetoe knows the difference, but somehow, I guess, since he knows the difference between exercising and training, I guess that somehow he thinks that that gives him some type of validity to give nutritional advice. So he recently made a video about cow's milk because Mark Rippetoe is a big believer of the GOMAD method, which stands for a gallon of milk a day method but he believes this method for skinny males that need to gain weight. Somehow, some of his viewers and followers misinterpreted what Mark said about drinking cow's milk and were under the impression that they had to drink a gallon of milk, specifically cow's milk every day, which is not what Mark said. He actually only states this.
And if you're a skinny, underweight, 18-year-old kid, yes, drink a gallon of milk a day, maybe a gallon and a half of milk a day.
This is old bro knowledge bullshit and very shameful. Mark Rippetoe knows what a skinny kid needs to gain mass is a surplus of quality calories, a legit training stimulus like the one he provides in his book, and some good rest in between training sessions. The problem here is that Mark thinks that the stolen lactations from the infected udders of a raped and abused cow is nutritious and adequate to gain mass for skinny males. So I'm going to show again why milk, or specifically cow's milk, is not healthy for human consumption, even if you are a skinny kid who needs to gain mass. As a quick overview, I will show why cow's milk is not healthy based on the fact that milk is loaded with saturated fat, cholesterol, IGF-1, estrogenic hormones, and animal proteins to boot. So we'll start from the top. Dietary saturated fat and dietary cholesterol are not essential for human consumption. The upper tolerable limit for dietary saturated fat and cholesterol is 0. This is because anything above 0 raises serum LDL cholesterol levels, an established risk factor for cerebral and heart disease. So let's see how much saturated fat and dietary cholesterol is in a gallon of milk. So we got 72 grams of organ-killing saturated fat, and the cholesterol, 390 milligrams of heart-stopping goodness right there. Wow. So only 72 times more saturated fat and 390 more times cholesterol a growing kid needs to sustain his life. And just as a kicker, there's a very pleasant 4.5 grams of trans fat to do the body real good. I mean, this is just wonderful. Milk also has IGF-1 and raises serum IGF-1 levels in humans when consumed, which promotes growth. But there's a slight problem as well. IGF-1 promotes cancer growth as well. So I'm not sure how well anyone's squat, press, or deadlift will be while on chemotherapy, or if they have a missing colon. Cow's milk is so loaded with estrogenic hormones that just 2.5 cups of milk raised estrogen levels in men and decreased testosterone levels by more than 100 points just 2 hours after consuming it. That's just 2.5 cups of milk, and Mark Rippetoe is recommending a gallon of milk a day, which equates to 16 cups of milk a day. I guess he thinks it's necessary or a staple for skinny kids to grow because, you know, those feminizing hormones are exactly what a young skinny guy needs, you know, and they're so essential and great for building muscle. Lastly, the animal proteins that every gym bro raves about. Yes, milk is loaded with animal protein, but probably a little bit more than what someone would want to consume in a day, especially if someone is drinking a gallon of milk a day. You see, someone following the GOMAD method would be ingesting insanely high amounts of leucine and methionine every single day. Leucine, in particular, has shown to activate TOR, which upregulates cancer promotion. Methionine is a sulfuric-containing amino acid that promotes tumor growth, as tumors have absolute requirements for methionine. This is probably one of the many reasons why a vegan diet is probably best suited for people, as vegan diets are naturally much lower in this sulfuric containing essential amino acid. So that's why you shouldn't drink milk from a health perspective. But regardless of the matter, Mark Rippetoe displays his magnificent bro knowledge by recommending a gallon of milk along with other animal products to eat on a daily basis on his or in his Practical Programming for Strength Training book. I think I've shown you enough as to why not to drink that disgusting pus milk, and if you're wondering if you should consume other animal products, then no worries. But in short, the answer is no. But I've got a whole playlist in case if you want to watch it. Made it just for you. Oh, I almost forgot. If you're a skinny male or a skinny female or what is known as a hard gainer, no worries there either, because I've got you covered. I made a video on how to easily put yourself into a caloric surplus without consuming any type of disease-inducing foods you're not designed to eat. Link will be up above. Now on to the moral debacle that Mark Rippetoe so elegantly threw himself into.
Why don't you just, have some meat and just shut up, just have some meat. If you object to killing animals, do you disinfect your mouth with mouthwash? What about the poor little bacteria? Well, they're not really animals, but, they're alive. They're alive. You're killing them. What about when you walk around in the yard and step on nematodes? Nematodes don't have a right to be in your yard uninterrupted in their little crawly business by your feet squishing them into protoplasm.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there because I'm probably cringing as much as you are. This video is about 2.5 minutes long of just verbal diarrhea that is flowing from Mark Rippetoe's mouth that is nothing short of baffling. I mean, I just didn't know it was possible to fit that much nonsense in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I mean, it's enough to make someone want to punch a hole through his thick Texan skull. But we don't want to go there, but that's, because militant vegans are bad, but like stabbing cows, ripping baby calves away from the mothers, ripping the testicles out of pigs, grinding up baby chicks, all that's all good. Yeah, but slapping some sense into someone, don't you fucking ever dare do that. Never. Yeah. Fucking militant piece of shit vegan. Apparently, Mark Rippetoe doesn't know that killing animals is not necessary, and it isn't more efficient to eat dead animal flesh for protein rather than eating plants for proteins. There isn't one single nutrient found in animal flesh that cannot be found in the plant kingdom. And if you're thinking B12 or DHA/EPA, you're sadly mistaken, because those nutrients don't originate from animals. B12 comes from bacteria, and DHA, EPA nutrients come from marine algae, or they can be converted from eating omega-3 rich foods that are high in ALA. Eating animals is not necessary for human sustainability or for becoming stronger. This is just old bro science crap. Killing animals or supporting any industry that kills animals for food, clothing, or any needless accessory or item that you can think of puts you on the wrong side of history. I'm telling you, put your money on it if you want. We're going to look back in the next 30, maybe 40 years from today, but hopefully sooner than later, and we're going to realize how needlessly horrific humans were to the other sentient beings on this planet, just for mouth pleasure, convenience, tradition, or fashion, or whatever pointless excuse people can come up with to try to justify their bad habits. So what side of history do you want to be on? The one that supports these needless, heinous acts, or the one that fights against it by not supporting it? So that's about it. I'm not going to dig any deeper than that, because Vegan Gains and a few other vegan channels already tore this guy up. The link to his video and any other vegan that I happen to see that tore up Mark Rippetoe will be in the description box down below if you want to check it out. So more of the story, if you like Mark Rippetoe, maybe just listen to his philosophy in regards to strength training, but disregard anything he has to say in regards to nutrition, at least when it comes down to the types of foods that he recommends you should eat, unless you want to further progress your chances of becoming seriously sick with, arterial disease, cancer, obesity, diabetes, the top killers in modern society today. And, if you don't want to contribute to the needless murdering of, billions of animals every single year, and, not destroying our planet anymore, which, I didn't even cover, but, maybe just don't listen to Mark Rippetoe in regards to, nutrition advice, because he obviously doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So that about wraps everything up. All links will be in the description box down below. Please feel free to let me know what you think in the comment sections down below, and please feel free to subscribe, like, hit the ding dong button. You guys know who I am. I'm the Natural Hulk. So I want to thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for the next one.